Today I'm going to demo buffalo squash chicken casserole with the leftover chicken from the roast that I made. So the first thing that we're going to do for the buffalo squash chicken casserole is cut up and roast a spaghetti squash. So this is a baby-sized one, so I'm going to do a half recipe, but this is a spaghetti squash. It is a little bit difficult to cut through, so I'm going to lop off the top, the bottom, so that it sits nice and flat, and then I'm going to cut through, and then I have to scoop out the seeds and the insides and roast it. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on these. A little bit of salt and pepper. And then they go upside down in a roasting pan. I'm going to put this in the oven at 400 for 30 to 40 minutes. So it's been 33 minutes, and I'm just going to check the squash. The way that we tell that a squash is done is by forking it. If it forks easily, it is done. Look at how easy that went in. Flip it over and show you again. It just sinks right in. Now that the squashes have cooled and you can hold the pan, I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to take the spaghetti portion out of the squash. As you can see, the reason it's called spaghetti squash is because it starts to look like spaghetti once it's been roasted. Now that the spaghetti squash is prepared, we have to prepare the rest of the vegetables that are going to go into this. So we have a bell pepper, an onion, and garlic. Now remember, garlic cloves, it's not the whole head, you want just a piece. So for this recipe we're going to do 2 garlic cloves. You're just taking a piece of the garlic out. When it comes to cutting a pepper, there are lots of ways to do it. We do want to avoid having the seeds and the stalk in there, but cutting the inside of the pepper is easier than cutting through the outside layer. I'll show you. So we're now going to saute these veggies with a little bit of olive oil. Now when you're sauteing in a non-stick pan like this one, you want to use either a wooden spoon or something with a nice silicone tip. I prefer the wooden spoon myself. So, we now have the start of our casserole. We have the spaghetti squash on the bottom. We have the sauteed vegetables on the top. It's time to add in our chicken. So this is the chicken from the roast that we made the other day. I have the extra chicken breast right here. So you can just take it and you can break it up with your fingers, or you can put it all on the cutting board and chop it really finely. It's up to you. Both methods work. Now it's time to make the sauce for this. I'm going to be doing a half batch of the sauce because it was such a small spaghetti squash. So normally the recipe would call for 3 eggs, so I'm going to do 1.5 eggs. So to do half an egg, we are going to break it along a flat surface so you don't get a sharp edge. Just a nice crack so you can see the crack right here. It's a nice even crack. Put your thumbs in and separate the 2 halves. You're going to let the white slip out while you're still holding the yolk in one side, and then you carefully put the yolk on the other edge. Let go of the white, push the yolk back into the other one. Sometimes it takes a few transfers to get the white to come off. And then you have your egg yolk. Along with the yolk, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of franks. Originally it's a 1/2 cup, so we're going to use a 1/4 cup. We're just going to use a rubber spatula to scrape it all out of the measuring cup. We're also going to do ranch dressing. It was a 1 1/4 cups, so now it's a 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing. And we are going to whisk this mixture together and pour it over our casserole ingredients. And then we're going to put it in the oven. So now I'm just going to toss that sauce and all the different ingredients into the casserole. And then I'm going to grate some cheese over the casserole and pop it in the oven. Right, it has been 30 minutes in the oven, so the casserole is done. I wish you guys could smell this. Nice, bubbly, cheesy goodness.